everyone, it's Kathy Champion, and you're back here with me in my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stamping. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your taking time out of your busy day to watch my tutorial, and I just want you to know how much it really means to me. If you've been watching my channel and you have not subscribed, please think about doing so. There is absolutely no charge whatsoever. You click that little subscribe button and the little bell right beside of the subscribe. If you click on that bell, it will show you how you can get notifications, and you can choose whether you want to get all notifications. That way you will not miss a video. You'll get either a text or something to your email every time I put up a new video. So that works out great. So that way you don't miss what's going on here at Kathy's Random Acts of Stamping. Alright, enough of that. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I love everything Stampin' Up. They think of everything. Today we're going to make a really cute little Valentine's card. I'm using, once again, the Sweet Conversation I guess suite, because I have the stamp set, I have the dies, and I have the designer series paper, and who knows, we might pull some more things in. But I'm starting out with this. Now this is the paper, and the paper is gorgeous, as you can see, and these are the coordinating colors of cardstock that goes with all of these. We're going to do kind of a little fun fold card today, so I'm going to move this over out of my way. And the first thing we're going to do is take a piece of basic white cardstock, and this is going to be our card base. And what I want to do with this is I want to cut it down to 9 1/4. So we're going to bring this over to 9 1/4. And we're going to cut a piece off. Like that, and then we're going to turn it on that 8.5 inch side, and we're going to bring it to 5.5, and we're going to trim this piece off. Now hang on to this piece because we're going to be using it, so just hang tight with that. Let's go ahead and close our arm, and we are going to get in here and do a little bit of scoring. So we're going to need to make 2 score lines on this piece to make this card work. And one is going to be at 3.5. So line it up on the 3.5 side, get that cut blade out of my way, and I'm going to score. Then I want to slide it down. We're going to open our arm up again, slide it down to 7 3/4. So that would be right before the 8. So right there. And then we're going to score that right there. That's all the scoring we need to do. But remember this piece right here. Now if you measure this, this piece is going to be right at 3 inches. I'm going to trim it off just a little bit. So I'm going to line it up at 3. And all we're going to get off of that is just a tiny little sliver. See what I mean? It's just a teeny little sliver of paper. So then we want to cut this piece down to, I have my notes, to 6 inches. So I'm going to close my arm. I love this trimmer because if I need anything 6 inches, I know that if I put it up in this top corner, I'm going to get 6 inches. So we're going to cut this, and then we're going to score it in half at 3 inches. Bring those blades down, and at 3 and score. So this is what you're going to have when you're done cutting. And let me grab a bone folder because I do want to crease these pieces down nice and tight. So there is our little piece. And then this one. And just get a nice crease. You know, anytime you're doing a fun fold card, it is crucial to make sure that your creases are nice and tight and straight. That makes all the difference in the world. So now we have our piece, our card base done. What this is going to do, this little mini card is going to go on in a backwards design like this. So after we get everything matted, this is going to live right about here. And then this is going to go over that, and then that's going to flap over there. So that's our card. Doesn't look very impressive right now, but wait till we get it decorated. So I cut a few pieces of designer series paper. I have two 1 1/4 inch strips by 5 1/4, and you can cut yours at any direction or any color that you want. I chose these two because I like those. And I also love this. This is going to be my front, and this piece is 3 1/4 by 5 1/4, and that is going to mat right here. Absolutely beautiful, just like that. So I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and do some of our matting first, and then we'll come back and we'll play with some of the other things that we want to do. I'm going to use my Stampin Seal. I love using Stampin Seal when I'm using designer series paper because it doesn't wet my paper. It's a nice dry adhesive, and it just makes it really easy to adhere this down. But it's also a very strong adhesive, so make sure that when you're sitting it down, you're getting it exactly where you want it. And that looks good. So we've got that side done. The next thing we want to do is decorate this little flap. And for that, I chose this purple stripe. And what that is the other side of this paper. So again, everything's going to coordinate with your Stampin' Up! Colors because that's just the way Stampin' Up! Makes things to work. So I'm going to go ahead and put my adhesive on here. And I'm going to open this up so I stand a little bit better chance of getting this piece nice and straight. What I'm going to do is try lining it up on my grid line. That will help me. And then press that down. So now, as you can see, our card is starting to come together, but we still got a little bit more decorating to do. So I have this other piece of this beautiful little hearts, and I love this side of the paper. I think it's so pretty. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a mat on the inside, and I'm going to use this design. And we're going to pop this in right about here. And press that down. Okay. So now we need a strip right here. And I think for this one, I'm going to use the same color. So when you open the card, it kind of continues over. Can you see how quick this little card comes together? Because you just cut your paper and pretty much let your paper do the work for you. So again, I'm going to line this up this way. It really just helps me get my paper on straight. And I figure whatever trick you use to get your paper onto your cardstock nice and straight, that is a good thing. Okay, so this and this is ready. Now we need to decorate this piece. So this piece is going to be our focal point because it's going to go right about here. So I need to decide what I want to put on the inside, and I think I want this matte. This is a Blushing Bride, which matches everything beautifully. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so the next thing I want to do is decide what I want on here. And I'm thinking I'm going to do a Blushing Bride. Let's see if Blushing Bride would look good. I think it will. I think it would coordinate really well on there. So I'm going to grab it out of my scraps. If we can find a piece that will work. This piece looks like it will work. This is what's so great about having that scrap bin. You can always find a piece. Now we know that this is 3 by 3, so I need to cut this down to 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. That'll give us that tiny bit of a border around there. So we just need to cut this off in a square. So 2 3/4. And then we're just going to turn it again and do 2 3/4. And now this will be perfect to center up on there, just like that. So I guess the next thing I need to decide is what do I want to put on the outside of this. And I'm looking at my dies. I think I want to do a couple of these little hearts like this. And maybe one's going that way. And I asked myself, what color do I want? And I think I'm going to keep with the theme of this Highland Heather or Gorgeous Grape. And I think the Gorgeous Grape is more what we're looking for. So I'm going to come over, grabbing out of my scrap bin one more time. I'm going to grab a piece of that Gorgeous Grape. Yeah, look how pretty that's going to look. So I'm going to run these through my die cut machine. So I'm going to bring it over. Love, love, love this machine. I cannot sing the praises enough. So I've got my number 1 plate, my number 2 die adapter plate. I got a number 3 plate that I'm using as my cut plate, and then I have one more number 3 plate that's going to go over top of that. So I'm just going to put these down about like that. I'm going to secure them with a piece of a post-it note flag, and then I'm going to lay my number 3 plate on top, and we are going to crank that through. Close this up for right now. And there's my hearts. Aren't they gorgeous? I love the way everything releases. That's the sign of a really good die, is when everything comes loose like that. Love, love, love it. So I'm going to go ahead and put my dies back in my envelope so I don't lose them. And look at all these beautiful little Gorgeous Grape hearts that we have. Now I'm going to use those, so I'm not going to let these get away. I'm going to get them off over to the side. So I'm just going to lay them over here on my desk so that if I do need them, I will have them ready to put on my card. So let's bring this little piece over, and I want to make sure that it's opening on this side like that. So this is the front that I need to decorate. So I'm going to go ahead, and this time I'm going to use liquid glue because cardstock's a little heavier and it will hold the glue without looking like it's coming through the paper. So I'm just going to put a good amount of liquid glue on here, and I'm going to center this up on my little card just like that. Give it a good press, and let's put our top back on our glue because the last thing we need is that to get yucky. Now I think that these would look gorgeous like this and like this, and we can stamp something right there, a sentiment. And I'm wondering if I want to do this one. Doesn't have a lot of sayings on it, so I'm going to grab well, I thought I was going to grab, but maybe not. I've got stamp sets that I need to put away, and I try to keep my stamp sets filed alphabetically as well as my dies. I knew I had that stamp set out because I used, this is the one I was looking for. It's laying right here on my desk. Always in my heart. I love, 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 love this particular stamp set because you are always in my heart. I love that. And I think that's the one I want to stamp on here. And I think we're going to use the Gorgeous Grape. I think that'll be so pretty right there. I used that on the card that I made recently, and I loved it. So yeah, let's grab the Gorgeous Grape. And a stamp block. Tap, tap, tap. And then let's get this squared up. And then hopefully we'll get this nice and straight. Love that. Isn't that gorgeous? Now all we need to do is glue those little pieces down around here. And if you notice, I'd laid them out and stamped first because I wanted to make sure that I had room there to center that up a little bit. Now all I'm going to do is just take a little bit of glue, and I'm just going to go around these little pieces, just here and there, just to get some glue on them. And then we are going to put this one down right there and give it a press. And then we're going to do the same thing with this one. Just some little glue. And if you notice, I'm just basically rubbing my glue, the end of the tip, around these little edges. And that's usually enough to hold these pieces onto your card. Give it a good press. I like to lay a stamp block on top of it. Sometimes that just kind of gives it a good little press that it needs. Alright, so let's bring our card back over, and let's decide what we want to put in here before we go any further. And I'm going to show you what I was thinking about, and I think it'll give it a pop. We have some of this gold color on here, and of course we have red. I wanted something when you open this card to really give a pop. And when I was working on my little gatefold twisted card last week, I had cut this out of gold foil, and this was one of the hearts I had left over. How gorgeous would this be right in the middle, just like that, with this heart fitting right in the middle of it. I really think I like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to do some glue on it, but I'm going to be very sparing. I do not want to get glue on that gold, because if any of you have worked with gold foil, glue, it doesn't like glue. So I'm being very careful of where I'm putting my glue. So I'm going to bring this back over, and I'm going to lay this on my petal pink. And again, I'm going to lay my block on that just to make sure I adhere it down good. And I'm thinking for the heart, the red heart that I want to sit in the middle, I am thinking that I may want to do some heat embossing on this. And I wonder if the Be My Valentine will fit. It will fit like that. So I think what I'm going to do is pick this up just like that. I'm going to set my heart down like this. And I'm going to go ahead and grab out my Versamark ink. And I want to do this in white. So of course my white embossing powder is all the way on the bottom. Before we do anything though, we need to use our powder tool. So I'm going to set my embossing powder up there, and I'm going to use my little embossing buddy. I love to heat emboss. I think it just gives everything a little pop. So we're going to do that really well because that piece has been cut, it's been handled and everything else, and I don't want to take the chance of getting static on it and have fingerprints or have embossing powder sticking where I don't want it to. So I'm going to ink this up. Now this is a watermark ink, so it's clear. Make sure I'm getting that where I want it. Yeah, that's good. Alright, I'm going to be very careful in putting this down, and I'm going to do it right here. And I can see that it got the ink on it really well. So I'm going to close up my ink pad, and I want to be very, very careful with this piece. And I'm going to sweep off this embossing powder off of my work surface. Not embossing powder, I'm sorry. That was the here is my embossing powder. I keep it in a little tub like this. It just makes it so much easier when I get ready to emboss. I can keep all of my mess right here. And I usually like to keep a little brush close by. Just a little paintbrush is what I use. If I can find one. And if I get excess embossing powder, like I can see some right there, I just clean it up before I heat set it. So, like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on here. And let's grab our heat tool. Now I'm going to have to let this heat up for just a minute, so bear with the noise. You always want to get your heat tool heated up before you go in with your embossing. And I'm going to grab a pair of tweezers while this is heating. And what this is going to do is give me an extra set of hands. So I think this is ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and put it right here. And you can see it turning into that beautiful white. That's how you know that it's melting that embossing powder. And we're done. So now we can just take this off. And this piece is ready to adhere right in. So all I'm going to do, I thought about popping it up, and I thought, no, it's going to be inside the card. I don't like to put bulk inside because that keeps your card from closing. So I am going to set that right in to that heart, and it's going to be a perfect fit every time. Isn't that gorgeous? So now we can go ahead and put this piece inside. And the good thing about that is I didn't waste that little, that beautiful gold floral heart. And that was cut from the floral heart dies that actually goes with the Always in My Heart set. So put this down right about here. I'm going to turn it over, and I just want to take my bone folder and just do this. Just want to make sure everything is nice and adhered. And it is, it is. Alright, so now we're ready to put this little piece, but we also got pieces in here to decorate. So I want to decorate the back side of this, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut just a piece of this gorgeous grape at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. This is also a great way to get rid of some of your scraps. So I encourage you to go in and use your scraps if you have them. So now I'm going to center this on the back. Again, just going in with some glue. So now this is going to go here, and we still have this entire inside to decorate or write a message on. So I think what I want to do is decorate this side, and we're going to put a piece of cardstock in here where we can actually sign our card. I think that would be beautiful, and oh my goodness, who wouldn't love to get this card? Don't you think that's cute, the way it's all coming together, and you got that beautiful little flap on the front, and a place here for your message. All right, let's decide what we want to put in here and what we want to put here. I'm going to go back and look at my paper. I love this piece right here. So let's look for that piece, and we might even use the front of it. Let's see which piece that is. All right, here's the piece that I had in mind. I love it. Look at the lollipops, the heart lollipops, and the back side of it is this gorgeous wash of color, which I think would be so pretty here. So what I want to do is cut a 2 3/4 from this side and a 2 3/4 from this side. So I am going to put this in at 2 3/4. Slice, and then we can just turn this and get our pieces 2 3/4. And 2 3/4. This and this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this down here. So again, I'm going to use my Stampin Seal. I think I want it to go in that direction. So put that down right there. And then this one is going to go there. And we could put a heart right here. We could stamp a heart right there, and it would still have room to sign. So maybe if we go up to the top, and then you would have room down here on either side to sign. What do y'all think about that? Do it in a real red. I'm gonna try it. I'm just gonna go rogue on everybody. So I'm gonna grab a piece of grid paper and a stamp block. And I am going to grab I really want this impression to work. So for that reason, I'm going to use this, my little Stampin' Pierce mat. Yeah, see, I want it to be redder. That's a little better. You know, I think it'll work because we're going to have that pink behind it. All right, we're going to go for it. So I am going to move this over, and I am going to go up to the top. I'm putting really good pressure on this because I want that ink to transfer over to that paper. Love it. That is so pretty. How cute is that? So let's go ahead now and put our card together. So what I want to do is I want to put some adhesive right on the side halfway. So I'm going to use my Stampin Seal, and I'm going to run maybe 2 pieces. I think that'll hold it. And I'm going to eyeball this, but I'm also going to use my grid to kind of come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and this should go right in here. So right about there. And let's turn it over. Oh, and I got adhesive. Should have went over a little bit further. Let's see if we can lift this. Oh, I did. Good, good, good. We need to go back to the back just a little bit more. Tell you what, let's do it like this. Perfect. Now what a cute little Valentine for anyone to get. So they get it, they open it, they see this. You know, we need something here for a message too. Let's see if we can just cut a plain heart and just to say, I love you. I think that would be so cute. So let me... need to clean up these stamps that have red ink on them, because we all know how much red stains our stamps, so a little cleanup doesn't hurt a thing. Alright, I am going to put this back in here. And what I want to look for is, how about we'll put a little heart inside here, and let's see what other heart dies I have. Alright, I don't want the full flourish of this, but I do want the heart from this because I think it's beautiful and it will fit so pretty. So what I want to do is I want to cut a piece of cardstock, maybe white, to go right there, and then we're going to stamp inside the heart. So I am going to grab a piece of white, and see, I don't need a whole lot, I just need a piece that will die cut that. So let me go off camera and get that cut, and then we'll be right back. Alright, I got my white heart cut out, and I found this Hello You, and this was in Shaded Summer. This is in our annual catalog, and I absolutely love this stamp set. I love the fonts, and the Hello You works perfectly on this card. And I took the little sprig out as well, and I'm thinking I might want to stamp maybe just a little something, maybe like that. I think something like that, and maybe a couple of these hearts over on the other side. But let's get a stamp block and pick this up. So I'm going to go ahead and pick both of these up at the same time. And I'm going to ink it in the real red. I want to kind of keep that theme of color going throughout. So I am going to ink this up. So I'm just going to ink it like this. And I want to make sure that this is stamping like I want it. I got a little bit of ink up here on the top, so I'm gonna, I just made a mess, y'all. Y'all know I always make a mess. So I'm just gonna get my little cloth here, and I'm gonna wipe this off. And we're gonna go in and re-ink again. I think this time I'm just gonna take it in and tap. Oh, that's pretty. Alright, now that I know that I've got it like I want it, I can actually come under here. I'm going to lay my heart right about here. And I'm going to get it centered on here. Just like that. And then I want this to be, oh, like that. I think that's very pretty. Alright, so we can put the ink pad up, and let's move this out of our way, and then I think what I want to get a couple of these coming down from this side. Maybe like that. So again, I'm going to grab my glue. I'm going to take your pick tool. I'm going to pick that one up and put just a drop of glue. Same thing with this one. And then set it down. And then I can move that out of my way, and then we can go ahead and put this heart down right there. Still looks like it's kind of getting lost in that paper, in the designer series paper. So what I might do is take a piece of red, and let's look at one of our heart punches. The scalloped heart will, if this will fit in there. If it will, Yeah, it might not, but we can offset it. I'm going to offset it just like that, and that just gives me a little bit of border, like a shadow to one side, and I think I like that. So I'm going to put glue on this side of my heart. And put that down just about like that. Wipe off any of that excess glue, and then we're ready to put the whole thing down right there. So I'm going to put glue on both sides, and then just sit it down just like that. And we can close it, and that card is done. Love, love, love it. So you'll have to tell me if this is something that you would like to make. You got lots of places where you can sign your name. You've got a whole lot going on with all of the different little sentiments. You could even put something on this side if you wanted to. But I love this card. I think it is kind of a wow factor card, because when you open it and it just keeps opening to something new each and every time. I love it. So let me know in the comments if you like this card and if this is a Valentine card that you would like to make. I really enjoyed the process of this, and I thought it turned out beautiful. Thanks once again for tuning in. A reminder, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. Give me a thumbs up if you like what I do, and I love you guys so much. Leave me a comment. I don't know that you watched my videos unless you do leave me a comment, so I appreciate all of you that are so faithful to always leave a comment about my card. Thank you so much. God bless and keep you, and as I always say in closing, let everything that you say and do bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy. Until we craft again, God bless and keep you. Bye-bye.